Imagine you're an airline CEO. Like, just put yourself in that seat for a second.
Oh boy, that is a high-stress seat to be in.
Right, because there's a massive, unexpected blizzard currently dumping snow all over O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. Ground stops are, in effect, everywhere.
A total operational nightmare.
Exactly. Your app is crashing because, 10,000 stranded passengers are refreshing it simultaneously. And every single second, those frustrated travelers wait on hold with your customer service line.
You're just losing money.
Right. Your airline is bleeding tens of thousands of dollars. You've got mandated refunds, lost future loyalty, just complete operational chaos. So how do you stop the bleeding? Do you just accept that these customer meltdowns are the inevitable cost of doing business?
Well, for a very long time, the industry essentially answered that with a resigned nod, like, yes, this is just how it is.
Just the cost of doing business.
Exactly. The standard operating procedure for managing that level of chaos was really just damage control. You took all those angry calls, bundled them up, and shipped them off to a massive disconnected call center halfway across the world.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Right. You literally wrote off the entire customer service department as a massive sunk cost, just a gaping wound in your balance sheet that you had to endure to keep the airplanes flying.
And that assumption that interacting with your own customers when things go wrong is inherently a financial drain is actually what we're challenging today.
Yeah, we're looking at a completely different paradigm.
We are. We're taking a deep dive into this really fascinating presentation deck detailing a platform called the Anjuna Service Center Plus, or ASC Plus. And our mission today is to completely deconstruct this system.
That's a really ambitious platform.
It is. We want to understand how ASC Plus operates as what they call a borderless extension of an airline. They're claiming to flip the script entirely, taking that traditional customer support black hole and turning it into a powerful, proactive revenue generator.
Which is an audacious proposition. It requires a complete architectural teardown of how airlines currently operate.
Right. It's not just a software update.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
ASC Plus isn't just a shiny new dashboard. It's defined in the text as a single, coordinated airline platform. The goal is to basically fuse customer service, inside sales, revenue support, and operational control under one unified structure.
So breaking down the silos.
Exactly. They are taking departments that traditionally operate in complete isolation, often competing for resources, using software that literally refuses to communicate with each other, and forcing them to act as one cohesive nervous system.
And I think whether you actually work in aviation or, you manage supply chains for a retailer, or honestly, even if you're just a traveler who has felt the crushing despair of being stuck on hold for 3 hours.
We've all been there.
Right. While the last rental cars at the airport get snatched up by other people.
Yeah.
Understanding how these behind-the-scenes systems are evolving is a massive aha moment.
It really explains the invisible machinery behind the travel experience.
It totally does.
Mhm.
It explains why one travel experience feels completely seamless and another feels like a bureaucratic nightmare. So let's start by looking at the underlying philosophy here.
The why behind the platform.
Right. Before we touch the software, why would an airline completely upend their existing infrastructure for ASC Plus instead of just, negotiating a cheaper rate with a traditional call center?
Well, we have to look at the financial realities of commercial aviation first. The source material outlines the central value proposition of ASC Plus very aggressively.
They make some big claims.
They really do. They promise commercial value through cost efficiency and revenue generation, specifically citing up to a 15% improvement in cost efficiency and revenue performance.
15% improvement. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And in an industry where profit margins are notoriously razor thin, where a slight spike in jet fuel prices can just erase a quarter's profits, a 15% swing is not an incremental update.
No, it's massive.
It is a fundamental transformation of the balance sheet.
A 15% improvement is literally the difference between acquiring new aircraft and filing for bankruptcy. But how do they actually get there mathematically?
That's where the operational mindset shift comes in.
Right, because I always think of the traditional outsourced call center like a bouncer at the back door of a nightclub.
Okay, I like that analogy.
The bouncer's only job is to manage the line, handle the unruly complaints, and basically keep the angry mob from breaking down the door. They're measured on how fast they can process the problem and move people along.
Get them off the phone as fast as possible.
Exactly. But the ASC Plus model feels more like a concierge at the front desk of a luxury hotel. They don't just solve the immediate issue, they notice it's your anniversary, and they upgrade your room.
The concierge analogy works perfectly on the surface, but let's push it a bit further. It's concierge who also has real-time, unfettered access to the hotel's profit and loss sheets.
Oh, interesting.
Because historically, the traditional call center is a pure cost-to-serve model. The vendor is paid per minute or per interaction. So the overarching mandate is just ending the call as quickly as humanly possible.
Which doesn't really help the customer.
No. But ASC Plus explicitly states in the text that they view customer interactions as opportunities for conversion, repricing, upsell, and recovery. They are actively looking for the hidden revenue in the disruption.
Okay, meaning if my flight is delayed, a traditional agent just processes my mandated refund to get me off the phone.
Right, to meet their handling time metrics.
But an ASC Plus agent is looking at my profile, seeing that I frequently travel for business, and instead of just refunding me, they seamlessly rebook me on the next flight.
Exactly.
Maybe they offer a discounted lounge pass to ease the sting of the wait, and maybe upsell me to premium economy at a dynamic rate. So they've taken a moment where I was ready to abandon the brand, and they actually captured more revenue.
And that transformation requires a foundational shift in how the workforce is treated. The service center cannot be an outsourced afterthought anymore.
It has to be integrated.
Deeply integrated. It must operate with the authority, the deep institutional knowledge, and the technological access of the airline itself.
Right.
When a representative is empowered to resolve complex issues without constantly putting the customer on hold to, check with a supervisor, it fiercely protects the brand reputation.
It stops the passenger from venting their frustration on social media.
Exactly. And crucially, it keeps their travel spend locked within the airline's ecosystem. It is an incredibly aggressive, defensive, and offensive financial strategy.
So if the philosophy is capturing revenue instead of just managing complaints, how does this actually work when the chaos hits? Like, we've got this grand vision, but let's see how it survives contact with reality.
Let's look at the actual pillars of the system.
Right. The document outlines a deeply integrated system, starting with what they call the Anjuna Service Center. This is the front line, the first pillar, the human element.
And the document is very deliberate in its terminology here. It highlights human-centric teams.
Human-centric.
Yes. These aren't generic call center temps reading from a laminated script. They are described as airline-specific specialists aligned entirely to the brand and service standards of the specific carrier they represent.
Okay, so they feel like employees of the airline.
They essentially are, operationally speaking, but, and this is the crucial multiplier, they are backed up by AI technology designed to drive massive cost efficiencies in the background.
AI doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. They operate in native languages for global coverage, and they use custom PSS workflows, meaning they are integrated directly into the airline's proprietary passenger service system.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second, because this seems totally contradictory to the entire trajectory of the tech industry right now.
How so?
Well, if ASC Plus is this highly advanced, tech-driven platform designed to slash costs, why in the world is the source placing so much emphasis on human-centric teams? Why not just automate the entire front line with the sophisticated generative AI chatbot?
It's a really valid challenge.
I mean, we are seeing major airlines try to do this right now, replacing humans with AI to save millions in labor.
They are, and the airlines rushing to fully automate are often learning a very painful lesson. The answer to your question lies in a specific phrase from the text empathetic support.
Empathetic support. Okay.
We need to go back to your opening scenario, the blizzard at O'Hare. In aviation, this is known as IROPS, or irregular operations.
Right, IROPS.
When IROPS activation occurs, you aren't dealing with routine inquiries about, baggage weight limits. You are dealing with weather events, global IT outages, or sudden labor strikes.
You were dealing with pure human panic.
Precisely. And that is exactly the kind of panic an AI chatbot is uniquely unsuited to handle.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine a mother traveling alone with 2 toddlers finds out her connecting flight is canceled at 11:00 p.m. in a strange city. If an AI clinically recites the airline's terms of carriage to her, it will instantly escalate the situation into a crisis.
Oh, she would lose her mind. I would lose my mind.
Exactly. AI is magnificent at the invisible heavy lifting. It can instantly route the call, instantly pull up the passenger's complex itinerary, and mathematically calculate the 3 most efficient alternate routes before the human agent even says hello.
It tees up the solution.
Right. But, as the document suggests, it is the human specialist, someone who inherently understands the stressful complexities of aviation, who actually delivers the empathy required to de-escalate the passenger.
And that empathy saves the lifetime value of that customer relationship. So
Exactly.
the technology is basically deployed to handle the massive data processing, freeing up the human's mental bandwidth to actually be human.
That's the perfect way to phrase it.
The source also points out real-time queue management, prioritizing urgent cases across all channels. I imagine this means if my flight leaves in 2 hours and gets canceled, my call mathematically leapfrogs the guy who is calling to ask if he can bring his golf clubs on a flight next October.
That prioritization is exactly what prevents the system from collapsing during an IRAPS event.
Yeah.
And because these human-centric teams are trained on those custom PSS workflows we talked about, the resolution is permanent.
What do you mean by permanent?
Well, they aren't logging into some third-party portal and sending an email request to the airline. They're using the exact same software environment the gate agents use.
Oh, I see.
So when the ASC Plus agent rebooks a ticket, it is instantaneously updated in the airline's core system. There is absolutely no lag.
But this introduces a massive domino effect, doesn't it? Let's say the human agent is incredibly empathetic, and the AI routes the call perfectly. That is completely useless if the product they are selling, the flight itself, is priced incorrectly in the system.
That is the ultimate bottleneck.
Right. Or worse, if a traveler is searching on an aggregator site and the airline's competitive new fare doesn't even show up, you are losing the revenue battle before the customer even knows they have a problem.
Exactly.
Which leads us straight into the second pillar, the mechanical plumbing of it all, and Juna tariff management.
The pricing engine. It is arguably the most unforgiving and complex infrastructure in the entire airline operation.
Sounds intimidating.
It is. The primary objective of tariff management is to ensure absolute fare accuracy across every single global distribution channel. The document is uncompromising on this. Effective fares management is the absolute bedrock of airline competitiveness.
Because if the price is wrong, nothing else matters.
Right. If your pricing data is flawed, your airline might as well not exist on those booking platforms.
I want to spend some time here because the document explicitly details the challenge of bridging legacy systems with modern distribution. They talk about bridging legacy GDS systems with modern NDC.
It's a massive technological divide.
Yeah, for anyone listening who doesn't spend their days reading aviation white papers, GDS stands for Global Distribution System. These are the decades-old, incredibly complex mainframe networks. Like, think of the old green screen terminals travel agents used to type those cryptic codes into.
Very old school, but still the backbone of the industry.
Exactly. And then NDC stands for New Distribution Capability, which is the modern, dynamic, retail-style pricing you experience when you buy a ticket directly on an airline's slick mobile app.
Right.
Making those two completely different eras of technology speak the same language instantly. I mean, that just sounds like a nightmare.
It is one of the most significant technical hurdles in modern travel, without a doubt. To bridge that gap, the text highlights a highly specialized capability, which is comprehensive ATPCO expertise.
ATPCO, the Airline Tariff Publishing Company.
Yes.
My understanding is that ATPCO is basically the central nervous system of global flight pricing. Is that accurate?
It is the definitive source of truth for airline pricing data globally. The document states that precise ATPCO fare filing guarantees accurate pricing across all those distribution channels.
Okay, so precision is key.
Absolutely. Think about the sheer velocity of data required in multi-channel distribution. Let's say an airline notices a competitor just canceled a key route from London to New York.
Okay, a sudden market gap.
Exactly. They want to instantly capitalize on that sudden demand by increasing their fares on that route, or perhaps launching a targeted flash sale to capture the stranded passenger.
Right, strike while the iron is hot.
But that pricing update has to be filed correctly with ATPCO. If it is filed with even a microscopic coding error, the new price might push to the airline's direct website, but fail to update on the massive GDS networks used by corporate travel agencies worldwide.
Oh, I see. Which means those corporate clients are still buying the seat at the old, cheaper price.
Yeah.
And the airline is instantly hemorrhaging potential revenue just because of a tiny data lag. It's like trying to change the price tags in 10,000 retail stores simultaneously. And if one store gets the memo 5 minutes late, people clean out your inventory at a discount.
That is the perfect visualization of the risk. Furthermore, the text introduces the concept of market positioning.
Market positioning, how does that fit in?
By letting ASC Plus manage the excruciating complexity of ATPCO filings and multi-channel distribution, the airline's internal revenue management executives are freed from that administrative burden.
They aren't in the weeds anymore.
Right. They don't have to spend their days worrying if the technological pipe is leaking. They can dedicate 100% of their strategic focus to deciding exactly how much water should flow through it to beat the competition.
Okay, so we've kept the customer loyal with empathetic service. We've ensured the pricing engine is flawlessly pushing dynamic fares to every corner of the internet via ATPCO.
Everything is running smoothly.
The customer sees the correct price, they click buy, and the transaction is complete. You would think the journey ends there. But there's a catch in the airline industry, isn't
A
there?
very big catch.
Just because a travel agency sold your ticket doesn't actually mean the airline has the money yet. And this exposes a massive financial sinkhole, which leads us to the third pillar in Juna ticketing control.
Financial discipline is really the anchor of this entire platform because selling the ticket is only half the battle.
What's the other half?
The other half is rigorously auditing the transaction to ensure the revenue actually settles into the airline's bank account without leaking out along the way.
Wow.
To do this, ASC Plus utilizes an in-house proprietary design ticket data collection system. This system is built specifically to manage complex financial clearinghouses like the BSP, the Billing and Settlement Plan, and the ARC, the Airlines Reporting Corporation.
Okay, I need you to break down those acronyms for me because to the average person, it just sounds like corporate alphabet soup.
Fair enough.
How does a billing and settlement plan actually function, and why does an airline need a proprietary system just to interact with it?
Well, imagine if an airline had to individually invoice the tens of thousands of independent travel agencies around the world every single time they sold a ticket.
The administrative overhead would be insane.
It would completely collapse the industry. So organizations created the BSP. It acts as a massive global clearing bank. The travel agents pay the BSP, and the BSP distributes the consolidated funds to the respective airlines.
Okay, that makes sense. Centralized clearing.
Exactly. However, ensuring the BSP is transferring the exact correct amount requires exhaustive auditing. This is where ticketing control deploys its specific mechanisms.
The document lists 4 key mechanisms here: commission auditing, ADM/ACM issuance, refunds and authority, and risk and revenue.
Let's break those down.
Yeah, commission auditing seems pretty straightforward to me. Like, if a travel agent contractually earns a 3% commission on a sale, you audit the transaction to make sure they didn't accidentally or intentionally deduct 5% before sending the money to the clearinghouse.
Exactly. It's verifying the math.
But I am genuinely confused by the second one.
Yeah.
What exactly is the mechanism behind issuing an ADM or an ACM, and how does it relate to daily cash flow?
This is the frontline weapon against revenue leakage. ADM stands for Agency Debit Memo.
Agency debit memo. Okay.
Let's walk through a realistic scenario. Suppose a travel agent books a ticket for a client. The airline has a strict fare rule that a specific, highly discounted price is only valid for a traveler staying over a Saturday night.
Pretty common rule.
Right, but the travel agent books the discounted fare anyway, even though the traveler is returning on Friday. The agent violated the fare rule. The airline's ticketing control system audits that transaction, catches the violation, and issues an ADM to the agency. It is essentially an invoice stating, you broke the rules of this fare, you undercharged the client, and you owe us the $400 difference.
Oh, wow.
And conversely, an ACM and agency credit memo is issued if the airline actually owes the agency money due to an overpayment.
So it is a relentless, microscopic audit of millions of global transactions. It really makes you realize how vulnerable an airline's cash flow is.
Incredibly vulnerable.
If they aren't relentlessly pursuing those debit memos, they're just leaving money on the table. It's like trying to pick up pennies in front of a steamroller. If you aren't aggressively managing the pennies, the sheer volume of transactions will eventually crush your profit margins.
That volume is precisely why the text heavily emphasizes risk and revenue, which are mitigation strategies designed for absolute cash flow protection.
The stakes are just so high.
They really are. If an airline lacks airtight oversight over ticketing authority and refund processing, they're exposing themselves to catastrophic financial risk. A minor glitch in how refunds are calculated during a major storm could result in millions of dollars in erroneous payouts before anyone even notices.
Which perfectly sets up the next problem. We have empathetic service reps handling calls, ATPCO experts filing thousands of dynamic price changes, and auditors issuing endless debit memos.
A mountain of activity.
Yeah, the sheer volume of raw data being generated every millisecond is incomprehensible. A CEO can't read a million rows of transaction data to figure out if the airline is actually making money.
No, they would be paralyzed.
So how does leadership see the big picture? That requires the final component, the fourth pillar in Juna intelligence reporting.
Right. Because data without synthesis is just noise. The purpose of this intelligence layer is to deliver powerful management information systems, or MIS. The proprietary Anjuna Intelligence Suite is designed explicitly to transform that overwhelming tsunami of raw operational data into actionable strategic insights that drive revenue growth.
The word that jumps out at me in the text here is consolidation. They emphasize seamless consolidation from PSS, CRM, AI, and sales platforms.
Bringing it all together.
Yeah, they are pulling reservation data, customer relationship histories, the AI routing metrics, and global sales figures into a single unified source of truth.
And the power really lies in the juxtaposition of that data. The suite offers interactive dashboards and bespoke analytics, but the critical innovation is providing comprehensive visibility across all customer segments simultaneously.
So they see everything at once.
Yes. A modern airline needs to track B2B trade partner performance, meaning analyzing exactly how much volume corporate travel agencies are moving, right alongside B2C direct sales metrics, like how well the airline's own mobile app is converting searches into purchases.
It's the ultimate cockpit display.
That's a great way to think about it.
Like, think about flying a commercial airliner through a storm. If you don't have your instruments, you are flying visual. You're just staring out the windshield, guessing your altitude, hoping that shadow in the clouds isn't a mountain.
Very dangerous.
That is an airline operating without integrated intelligence. But with this consolidated suite, they have a full instrument rating. They have weather radar, fuel flow sensors, and GPS.
Everything they need to navigate.
Right. They can see that B2B sales in the European market are suddenly dipping, while BDC searches for winter destinations are spiking, and they can adjust their ATPCO pricing instantly to match that reality. They aren't guessing anymore.
It accelerates the decision-making cycle tremendously.
Yeah.
By spotting revenue opportunities or operational bottlenecks days or weeks before competitors who are still relying on siloed data reports, the airline maintains a constant tactical advantage.
Okay, so the architecture is brilliant. We have the Human Service Center, the Tariff Management Pricing Engine, the Ticketing Control Financial Audits, and the Intelligence Reporting Cockpit.
The 4 pillars.
But an architecture is just a blueprint until you look at the engine under the hood. How does an airline guarantee this system won't crash when it matters most? The source document outlines their strict technology and standards, broken into 4 distinct categories.
Right, because the technological foundation has to be impenetrable to support a global borderless operation like this.
Absolutely.
Standard 1 is infrastructure. This demands secure firewall access, flawless compatibility with the airline's PSS, and seamless CRM integration. Standard 2 is security. The platform must operate within segregated environments.
Meaning the data of one airline is cryptographically walled off from another.
Exactly, while maintaining strict GDPR compliance and role-based access permissions.
Well, those first 2 are essentially table stakes for any enterprise software. But the third standard actually made my jaw drop. Performance SLAs, or service level agreements.
They are very aggressive.
The document states that individuals are trained to achieve a 95% call answer rate within 120 seconds and email response times under 2 hours. I mean, a 2-minute wait time in the airline industry feels almost mythical.
It is an intensely aggressive operational target, but it ties everything we've discussed together.
How so?
If we return to the IROPS scenario, the blizzard stranding thousands, the speed of response is the ultimate brand protector. When a legacy airline melts down, passenger wait times routinely balloon to 4, 6, or even 8 hours.
It's agonizing.
The psychological damage inflicted on a customer waiting on hold for 6 hours while watching their vacation evaporate is just irreparable.
Right. If ASC Plus can leverage their real-time AI queue management to maintain that 120-second SLA during a crisis, they aren't just answering a call faster. They are fundamentally altering the psychological state of the passenger.
That is exactly the point.
A traveler who waits 2 minutes is relieved, grateful, and highly open to a rebooking or an upsell. A traveler who waits 6 hours is completely radicalized. They're going to demand a maximum cash refund, file a complaint with federal regulators, and loudly denounce the brand to anyone who will listen.
The speed of resolution directly protects the balance sheet. And to ensure that a 120-second target isn't just a marketing gimmick, the 4th standard is rigorous governance.
Governance. meaning oversight.
Yes. This involves weekly operational reviews and quarterly strategic sessions. It is a constant iterative process of analyzing the metrics against the reality of the operation to ensure the standards do not slip.
Okay, so we have this ironclad system. If I am the airline executive who wants to implement this, how do I actually structure the deal? The commercial models detailed in the document seem surprisingly adaptable to different sizes of airlines.
The commercial structure is designed specifically to heavily mitigate the financial risk of transition. ASC Plus offers flexible pricing models based on operational needs. An airline can opt for a fixed weekly retainer combined with volume-based pricing. This means the core infrastructure is always available, but the costs scale organically with the airline's passenger volume.
So you only pay for what you use, mostly.
Exactly. Alternatively, they offer a purely a la carte model if an airline only needs specific modules.
The typical contract is a 12-month standard term. But the brilliant part, I think, is the provision for short-term IRO-PS coverage.
That is a game changer for some carry.
Right. An airline doesn't even have to commit to a year-round structural change. If they know hurricane season is approaching in the Caribbean or the winter holidays are prone to meltdowns, they can contract ASC Plus dynamically just to absorb the surge in chaos.
Just for that specific period.
Exactly. And if they do commit to the holistic model, all 4 pillars are bundled into a single price. The customer service, the ATPCO filing, the BSP auditing, and the MIS reporting are integrated commercially as well as technologically.
And that bundled approach is essential. If an airline attempts to pick and choose, say, adopting the customer service module but keeping their ticketing control in-house on a legacy system, they break the cohesive nervous system.
Right, they lose this synergy.
Exactly. The value proposition of the borderless extension relies entirely on the components communicating flawlessly with each other.
It makes complete theoretical sense. But theories are notoriously fragile when they hit the real world. Does this actually work?
We have proof that it does.
Right. The document provides a critical piece of validation. The Fly Pelican case study. Let's dig deep into this because this is where the abstract concepts become tangible revenue.
Fly Pelican serves as the perfect stress test for the platform. They are a regional airline based in Australia.
And regional airlines usually have tight margins.
Very tight. Typically, regional airlines operate with highly constrained resources. They do not have the capital to build global physical infrastructure. Yet, the document details how ASC Plus supports Fly Pelican across multiple massive international markets simultaneously, including the UK, the US, Canada, New Zealand, and Singapore.
Wow, that is the defining borderless characteristic in action. You have a regional carrier in Australia projecting the operational footprint of a massive global legacy carrier.
It's incredible leverage.
They are instantly accessing dedicated inside sales, customer service, and market intelligence across 5 continents without having to sign a single commercial real estate lease or hire local HR teams in London or New York.
And the financial impact of that sudden global reach is staggering. The document features a direct quote from Marty Hawley, the CEO of Fly Pelican.
What does he say?
He reveals that since appointing Anjuna in August 2018, the airline grew its trade business to 60% of total revenue.
60%.
Yes. For a regional carrier, capturing that much of the trade market is a monumental shift in their financial stability.
A 60% capture rate is absurdly high. Hawley himself notes that this growth trajectory far exceeded their expectations. He specifically highlights how this platform allowed them to access highly lucrative incremental market segments that are usually walled off from smaller airlines.
Segments they couldn't touch before.
Right. He mentions penetrating government travel contracts, securing business from major TMCs, travel management companies, and dominating the regional travel agent community.
What is truly validating is how Hawley maps that financial victory directly back to the specific mechanics we just analyzed. He states that the Anjuna team became a natural and seamless extension of the airline, which proves the efficacy of the human-centric philosophy.
It wasn't just lip service.
No, but more importantly, he attributes their exponential growth to suddenly accessing best of breed in all airline disciplines.
He practically reads off the ASC Plus feature list. He explicitly credits their ability to onboard inventory across 3 different GDS platforms, which instantly put their flights in front of thousands of corporate travel agents worldwide.
The tariff management pillar in action.
Exactly. He specifically cites the utilization of ATPCO fare filing, proving that the tariff management engine allowed them to compete dynamically on price. He highlights the BSP management, confirming that ticketing control protected their cash flow from leakage as they rapidly scaled.
And the local support.
Right, he credits local sales, marketing, and trade call center representation, proving that the localized empathy works.
The Fly Pelican case study demonstrates the democratizing power of this technology. When a smaller carrier plugs into a holistic, borderless platform like ASC plus Duno, the traditional barriers to entry just evaporate.
They can compete with the giants.
They instantly wield the data intelligence, the precise global pricing distribution, and the relentless financial auditing of a monopoly carrier. They bypass decades of infrastructure building and go straight to revenue generation.
It completely levels the playing field. So let's kind of synthesize everything we've uncovered in this deep dive.
You've covered a lot of ground.
We really have. We started with the sheer panic of an airline melting down during a storm, trapped by the old mindset that customer service is nothing more than a sunk cost to be outsourced and ignored.
The damage control mindset.
Right. And then we deconstructed how the Njuna Service Center Plus challenges that paradigm. They deploy empathetic, tech-backed human agents to capture revenue in moments of crisis.
Promise pillar.
They utilize rigorous tariff management to instantly push dynamic pricing across complex global networks through flawless ATPCO filings.
Ensuring the price is always right.
Exactly. They employ stringent ticketing control to audit massive clearinghouses like the BSP, issuing debit memos to stop revenue leakage dead in its tracks. And finally, they wrap it all in an intelligence reporting cockpit that gives leadership absolute visibility across both corporate and direct consumer markets.
Fusing these four elements into a single, cohesive architecture proves that the concept of a borderless extension isn't just corporate jargon.
It's a real functional model.
It is a highly engineered mechanism that transforms chaos into a calculated up to 15% improvement in financial performance.
And, for anyone listening, this extends so far beyond just the aviation industry. It reveals the invisible architecture behind the modern world.
Behind almost any service you use.
Exactly. The next time you experience a truly seamless service interaction, whether you are instantly rebooked on a delayed flight or a complex financial dispute with your bank is resolved in minutes without being transferred 5 times, you'll know what is actually happening behind the curtain.
You'll know it's not magic.
Right. You'll know there is an incredible complex, high-velocity web of data distribution, rigorous financial auditing, and AI-assisted human empathy working in perfect synchronization. When the architecture works flawlessly, the friction of daily life just disappears.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. Which leaves me with one final provocative question to consider based on the trajectory of this source material. We've seen how aggressively this model protects brand loyalty and captures hidden revenue in airlines.
Yeah.
If the era of the outsourced afterthought call center is truly collapsing, and these highly integrated borderless intelligence hubs are the undeniable future, how long is it going to take before every major consumer industry adopts this?
It's a great question.
Imagine a future where dealing with your telecommunications provider, your health insurance company, or a major retail brand doesn't involve screaming into a void. Imagine a world where waiting on hold isn't just accepted as a waste of your time, but is actually recognized as a massive, unacceptable financial failure for the company you are calling. The bouncer at the back door is officially obsolete. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.